Sunny, breezy, and warm for this final round of the ShopRite LPGA Classic at the Bay Course at Seaview Resort in Galloway, New Jersey, across the bay from Atlantic City. A day that has already seen a bit of LPGA history. Grant Boone, Major Champ Karen Stupples with you, along with Tom Abbott. And out on the golf course today, Jim Gallagher Jr. Karen, let's watch some of the heroics of Linnea Strum, the Swede who began the day tied for last place, but got it going quickly, and this at 9.
Yeah, just from that first cut of rough, but judged that release perfectly.
A pitch in for eagle and a first 9, 31. She kept it going, a birdie at 14, and then this, her second at 16.
And not always easy. Front hole location really got to judge the spin back. And I'd say she does just that.
And suddenly Linnea Strum was in the lead. That took her to 12 under par. From 7 shots back, tied for last when the day began. The 77-yard par 317. Well, she had about 3 yards for that putt. So she hit it 80 on the 77-yarder, made it for birdie, and then she goes to 18. Had a pitch shot of about 50 yards for a 59, left it here, and this for a 60.
And this length putt's not easy on this golf course, but she sure is making it look easy.
It's just the 6th round of 60 in LPGA history. 75 years, tied for the 2nd lowest score ever. And from 7 back, tied for last, to 14 under par with that 60 and in front. And look what jumps out there at the bottom.
Those 20 putts, I mean, that's quite remarkable. These greens are really tricky to make putts on, but she did not have any problems out there today.
And when she wrapped up that round of 60, she spoke with Tom.
Well, thanks, Grant. That is one of the most historic rounds in the history of the LPGA Tour. When did you get an inkling that a round like this was coming?
I mean, I don't know, if I'm being honest. I've actually been working on a lot of stuff in my swing recently, and obviously haven't really had the start of the season that I wanted. So I was back in Sweden last week, and, you know, always going back home, it gives me some confidence, just be with family and friends and just be in home environment. So I did have a good feel going into this week, and I felt like I played decent the first 2 rounds. And then finally today, everything just clicked, and hold some good putts and hit some shots pretty close. So that kind of took some pressure off it as well. So I'm just very happy with my round.
Was the highlight for you at the 9th?
I think it was, yeah. I mean, when I hit the chip, I thought I hit it way past it, and then all of a sudden it just dropped. So that was exciting. And then I missed some tee shots on 13 and 14 and managed to save 2 very good pars. So I think that kind of gave me some confidence too, to kind of just keep going and keep getting back on that birdie train.
Oftentimes players say they're in the zone, they don't really know what's going on. Were you aware of what you were shooting and where you stood on the leaderboard?
Yes and no. I mean, I a little bit, but I tried to just, you know, take one shot at a time and just do as good as I could today. And I mean, I didn't think about the 59 in my head, but maybe I should have on the last and, you know, try and get a better tee shot down there. But it's okay. I'm happy that I managed to make a birdie at the end on 18. So yeah.
Best putting round of your life? I think you only had 20 putts.
I know. I think it might be, and I have been working on my putting, so it's good to see some result coming with that too. So yeah.
And finally, what will you do? I mean, you've got a few hours now to wait. What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. My dad is here. He came with me from Sweden last week, so I think we're gonna go in, enjoy some lunch now with my dad and my caddy, and just see what's gonna happen, I guess.
Congratulations on a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
Linnea, Tom, thank you. We're going to see what happens as well. Take a look at the lowest rounds in LPGA history against 75 years of the LPGA Tour. Annika, the only one to break 60. She joins 5 others.
Well, and you get the feeling right now, though. I mean, this goes all the way back to 2003 and 2001 with Annika. But I kind of get the feeling that we're getting closer to somebody else shooting another 59 out here on the LPGA Tour. It seems like more than any other year we've been sitting here in the booth and like, we have a chance for a 59, we have a chance for a 59. I can't remember years recently that we've been saying that this much.
And we've had 2 chances this week. Arpachai Yubon had a pitch shot from in front of the 9th on Friday, and Strom had the pitch today from about 50 yards. Yubon shot 61, Strom a 60. So now you look at the leaderboard, she's up by 2. She was 7 back when the day started, and it's not getting any easier out there, is it?
No, it really isn't. The wind is picking up, the greens continue to get tougher the more the wind blows. And so the players that are chasing have got their work cut out for them.
99th career start for Linnea Strom, and this her 5th season, looking for her first victory. And you can see some over par scores there as we take you out to the 10th. And Ayaka Budaway, a player who has a win and keeps putting herself in position, it seems, week after week.
She's so consistent. She doesn't make many mistakes.
Here's Ataya Titikun, former #1 in the world. She made an eagle at 9, this at the 10th for birdie. Right back on the tee at this 10th. This is Yelimi No, and Jim Gallagher is there.
I sure am. I got less wind driver, just trying to lay it up there. You get up the right side, you can actually see the green. You go up the left side, it gets kind of a block view coming in.
Yelimi, 22 years old, a phenom, almost won as a teenager in Portland back in 2019. Hannah Green came from behind to get her. And here is a talented rookie from Japan with multiple wins on her home tour, the JLPGA, and 6 back with 9 to play. Mao Saigo.
Yeah, so many talented players coming out of Japan now. It's been impressive. That might be a little up the left side.
Okay, got it.
Conditions out there, Jim?
Nope, it's a little bit windy. It's actually pretty strong. It's kind of like yesterday.
Over to the 9th, and we say hello to Tom again.
Yeah, this is Megan Kang at the par 5. This is a crucial hole for these players in the final round, because if you can make an eagle here like Titikun did, move up. She said it was so bad, and that's going to make it very difficult for a 3.
It is, because she's going to have to make a decision if she can carry the cross bunkers.
Final group is at the 8th, and Jenny Shin began the day with a 1-shot lead. By the time she got to the first tee today, she was trailing by 4.
And that's crazy, because you just don't expect on the final day.
Yeah. Yeah, just left it. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, the green, I'll put some lines to the flag.
Someone to shoot 60, and all of a sudden you're behind. You expect it to come from one of the last 3 groups, 4 groups, but that was a long way back that Linnea Strom has come from. And it immediately changes the dynamic for Jenny, who was leading.
Shortest golf course on the LPGA Tour, playing under 6,000 yards today.
So the 15th, and Lauren Hartridge for birdie. Just trying to snake one in.
And a tough start for Alban Valenzuela. Whether Alexi on the bag. Here's her second at the 8th.
It's very different knowing that you have a target to shoot for, as opposed to easing into the round with the people that you're competing against directly. There's no easing into this. You know what your target is. You know what you have to do. And that was always going to be tough. Little downwind, elevated green from the rough.
Morgan Montreux missed the green here, so this is for par at the 11th. Player who just won on the Ladies European Tour and the Jabra Ladies Open. Just played on the same golf course as the Amundi Evian Championship, and it's very close to home for her. She grew up parents live just on the other side of Lake Geneva. This is a really important back nine for McCrow, down at 139th in the race to the CME Globe.
And one more here in this final group at the 8th. This is Su Chia Cheng from Taiwan.
It's an aggressive drive. Again, from the rough, it is always going to take a bit of a hop. Front flag, difficult to get it close.
Right from the fairway bunker, second shot for Yelimi No at 10.
Yeah, 118 yards in the sand in these fairway bunkers are a little firmer than the green side bunkers, which you want in a fairway bunker, but the risk of going up this right side is to hit it and want to hear, but the whole location just on top of that ledge. Sounded pretty clean.
Yes, big downhiller coming up.
The way that ball danced tells you that she did catch it cleanly,
She
right?
really did, absolutely.
All right, here is Budaway, the closest pursuer to Strom, who finished well over an hour ago.
Yeah, dream start on that front nine. Now just 100 yards here. A good spot coming in here. I look for it to one bounce, and it should spin to get to that top level. Want to get it up there on that upper level if you can. That was not our best.
No, it was a blind shot,
Right,
so
please.
she's trying to judge.
Thank you.
Keep it here for Saigo.
Yeah, Budaway went with a little higher shot, and it's back into that wind, and that's the risk you run. It's a pretty brisk wind, as you said. Now just 90 yards. See if she can flight this down just a little bit more. That's on a little lower trajectory.
Classy play there for a proven winner on the JLPGA. She's had a nice rookie season. A couple of top 15 finishes, 3 of them, in fact. All right, we're back at the 8th, and this is Su Chia Cheng. Began the day carrying 2 back, and all of a sudden, almost mathematically out of it. It happens quickly.
It really does. The pressure was on this final group right from the word go. With Strom playing how she played and posting that number.
9.
Well, we talked about eagle tries here and what a difference that could make to a player's chances for winning this afternoon. This is Lee Six down the green at number 9. Oh, great look there.
The holes are starting to run out for these players in terms of catching up with Strom.
That's going to be the interesting part is when your chance kind of runs out. This is at the 11th, and Tidekun, she still has a chance. 4 back. She can't really afford a mistake at this point. It's going to leave her a fairly lengthy putt. But still, there's a chance.
Jenny Shin for birdie at the 8th.
Started off quite well with a birdie at the 3rd, but then came right back with a double at 4.
Said yesterday she knew she was going to have to come out and make birdies. She's been around 300+ starts. Had an outstanding, maybe a sneaky great career. 1 win, but a proven player. We're back at the 10th, and Linnea Strom really sent a shockwave through Seaview earlier today, and now these players trying to catch up. Budaway to get within 1.
Yeah, it's about 30 feet and going up the hill, but it's really not as slow as the players may believe it is. But it's going to go pretty good to the right. Wind's blowing right back into her face. Could affect it, just keeping her steady.
Back we go to the 8th, and a much needed birdie for Valenzuela possible here. To 9.
Birdie putt coming the other way for Lee 6 to get it to 10 under par within 4 of the lead. Yeah. Well, the major champion has a chance here.
You let me know for birdie at 10.
Yeah, coming down the slope, ought to go to her left. It's good to see her up on top of the leaderboard where she belongs. She's too good a player to not have that success. We saw how good she was early on.
That sneaks past. Morgan Matreau at the 12th. It hung up there, it looks like.
Yeah, it did. Even from a screen that makes it flat, looks like there's going to be some break on it.
Saigo, after that nice approach, has this for birdie to get to 9 under.
Yeah, on basically the same line as nose putts, so she obviously know what it does. Now you have to just execute that. That's always this tricky part, but you know, it's always tough, Karen. You come out there, you see the score, it's posted. You want to be aggressive, but the back 9 is just, it doesn't have that many birdie holes till you kind of get to towards the end. It's just a difficult, much more difficult. You got to make your, you know, your money on that front 9.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, you just got to try and avoid making bogeys too. It's the tightrope of trying to play aggressive enough to make birdies, but to not make bogeys. It's a bit of a predicament for these players.
Back to 9.
Yeah, we saw the tee shot into the bunker, and Karen, she did not take on carrying those cross bunkers and the fescue. That was a bit odd there. She was shaking her wrist.
Yeah, looks like that was a bit sore. Shot was good though. She does like to play quite a few punchy shots. So you can see ball is above her feet, so she's going to hit a little punchy shot, and you see her trying to keep that ball flight down, but that club wanted to stick in that ground.
Tillekun's birdie putt at the 11th. Good try. But another hole sneaks by.
And the comebacker, a good, what is that, 7, 8 feet maybe for no? Went to that long putter a couple of years ago. She's trying to work her way back. She was a Solheim Cup player back in 2021, almost won Evian that year as a teenager.
The 9th. This is Narayan. She started the day just 1 back. Oh, it grabbed on her. That's going to make the birdie putt difficult. She had 3 birdies already, but a couple of drop shots. Finds herself 5 back.
And a little bit of work left here for Budaway to stay 2 back.
Yeah, a little bit of a left to righter, but there's not much in this. And as Cameron's point, you've got, you make a bogey, you're pretty much doing yourself in when 14's already posted. Just can't make any mistakes. That's the toughest part, and it's a day where you're going to make some mistakes and hit some shots you don't want.
And over to the 9th.
Wailing sheep short of the green.
Looks like the spot from where Linnea Strom pitched in from.
Yeah, but that's a different result for Wei Ling, and she's not guaranteed to make a birdie. Trying to work her way into the Olympic team for Chinese Taipei.
to 12. And Ataya Titikun.
Good job.
She was aggressive yesterday off the tee. Hit it to about right there. And nearly hold her approach. Made birdie. And back at the 9th.
Yeah, Megan Kang for the birdie. She did have an issue with her back earlier this season, but suffered a bit of a wrist issue a few years ago at the Kroger Queen City Championship, hitting a shot there that caused her a bit of aggravation. Hopefully that was just a one-time thing.
On the range, actually, I think is where that happened.
Yes, warming up for the round. It's going to go for a while. They figure that out. We'll go over to the 11th, looking back towards the tee. Going to be Akafuda way to go first.
Yeah, 184 yards today. A pretty good, strong right to left wind. And, you know, Grant asked me on the last hole about the wind, and it's actually picked up again, stronger than it's been really all day. And I think, you know, Karen, for players, you just don't want that gust. And I think that's with this shot here. If you get it working to the left and overturning it, the fescue comes in. And we know that is just basically almost an unplayable lie.
It is, Jim, and this green is quite tough in that it slopes from front to back and down to the left, but there's a little upslope in the front of the green, so landing it short tough as well. So players just trying to land it on the very front edge of this green.
Exactly. She's lined this up pretty far to the right, so she's playing that wind and that draw. It starts out way to the right, and it's coming back nicely.
Steady, steady.
Oh, there's some thick. Ooh, that could be awkward with the thicker grass.
It's just amazing how close that thick grass. Look at that. I mean, that's right by the putting green.
Yep.
And that's on a number of holes. This is at 9. On for birdie. The argument would be that this golf course needs some protection. It's
Absolutely.
shortest golf course on the LPGA Tour, and you have to be accurate.
Morgan Mitro for birdie at 12. Seeing these balls run out a little bit as the wind picks up, Karen.
Mm-hmm. Green's just drying out some.
Back to the tee at the 11th with Mal Saigo.
Yeah, to Karen's point, I think, like you said, you're just trying to land this ball on the front edge. Fudaway's ball landed just short of the pin. You just can't do that. It's going to always release. See ya.
It's going to release back. Yeah.
So close to nightmare stuff.
Here is Megan Kang for a birdie at the 9th. She's seen players knock it past, and you can understand not wanting to have to work for the par, but she needs to make birdies if she's going to have a chance to win here, and that will be very much on these players' minds. You let me know. 8 behind.
Well,
I think the chances of winning are pretty slim, Jim.
Yeah, especially with a sloppy bogey at the last hole with the 3-putt, but you cannot like what she saw before, so she knows she has to land this just on the front portion of the green. But you've got to be accurate, as Karen said. There's fescue on both sides. It's a tough hole today. And that's launched up higher. And it's trying to turn back.
Yeah, that one should be pretty good. Yeah, lovely shot. Has always been a very good ball striker. Strong tee to green. It's where the putter that has let her down. Now Wailing Sheep is for her birdie. Learn anything from Narayan? Oh, wow, that looked good for so long. And we're going to say that quite a bit. As the day goes on, the wind's blowing, these greens grow a little bit. The putting becomes more and more difficult, and that 14 under par number looks harder to catch.
Short second shot for a tie at Titicun at 12.
And really created a great angle to give this one a go.
Okay. Like she did yesterday, hits it close. That to get within 3. 11.
Second for Saigo.
Yeah, pretty clean lie. Really slow going back over.
Yeah, not her best effort. So she's in a position where she's got to basically birdie every opportunity she gets. This is Morgan Matreau. On the tee at the 13th, which can be a difficult hole. That one looking like it's down the right. Yeah, way right.
Oh. That sat down a lot too and could have a little bit of tree trouble.
Okay, Jim, is the long grass playing a part here for Foodaway?
It definitely is, with it's kind of a restrictive backstroke. Not only a long grass, but that kind of that rough. So she's got to go straight up and be a little bit steep, and it really trying to accelerate the best she can through. Really easy to fluff this if she doesn't keep the acceleration through.
So well done.
Yeah.
I like the little pop, you know, just creating that steep angle of attack. Oh, look how she just drops that club on the ball. Barely any follow through. Just enough.
Let's go to the 15th. Check in with Jin Young Ko. Back on 6 under par. Level par for the day, and that may fall back towards the bunker. And it's just going to hang in that grass. Birdie putt here for Yelimino.
Not a lot in this putt. This is probably going to be one of the better shots you see this afternoon. That's pretty weak. She has a little more speed. That goes in.
Go to the final 3-ball here at Seaview. The 36th playing of the ShopRite LPGA Classic. ShopRite, the longest serving title sponsor on the LPGA Tour. They've supported this event for many, many years, and it has become a short tradition. But I'm not sure whether we've seen anything like we've seen today. 60 to lead the way.
I mean, you talk about making your way up that leaderboard quickly. And all the way to the top. I mean, that's just, I mean, it's a dream Sunday. It's a dream Sunday.
They've made a lot of dreams come true. $40 million they've given to local charities here through the years. Titicun gets it to fall, and look out for the former #1. She moves into sole possession of 3rd with 6 holes to go. Remember, 18, a very reachable par 5.
She's still got to play those 6 holes in 3 under par to tie.
13.
Morgan Matreau 4 behind and missing this one way right off the tee. Yeah, this is going to be, I mean, even if she does not win, Morgan Matreau, it's going to be a year-changing week. And we know that she's been in good form, having won across on the Ladies European Tour. But right now this is projected to move her to 81st in the race to the CME Globe, her position.
I think that's pretty much all she had from over there with the trees.
Foodaway for par.
Yeah, I think right center, Tom. If it loses speed, it could fall a little bit left, but
yeah, you got to be careful on all the putts coming home here. It's been a really good season for Aka Foodaway, but there's been one thing missing the last few years, and that's a victory. It could change today. Jenny Shin playing in that final 3-ball. Knocked it through the green in 2 on the par 5, so good chance to make the birdie here, get it up and down.
She talked about needing to be more aggressive with her chip shots, and she certainly could have done with a bit more there. It was uphill, so it was always going to be slow.
4 back with 9 to play. Megan Kang, a good start here at the 10th. Here's her second.
You see from the left side of this fairway, it's blind to the bottom of the hole.
Oh, that'll open some eyes. That'll be a short putt for birdie to take Kang to 11 under. 15.
Here's Jin Young Ko. An uphill lie here and down to the hole. Did she? Yes, she did. So that moves her to 7 under and didn't make the move that she would like today, but still could have a really good finish here. Move up inside the top 10 potentially.
Crowds gathering. That's a nexus of the golf course there with the 11th green and lots of on-course activations. And Ayaka Budaway right there, closest pursuer to Strom on the tee at this short par 4.
Yeah, you're just trying to get it out into the fairways. Probably more straight downwind, maybe a slight bit of left to right. Just pick a target out there, get it in the fairway, give yourself a chance, hit a little wedge in there, make another birdie. This is a birdie opportunity today for sure. Should be just fine.
She looks pretty in control, pretty calm, like taking it all in her stride.
Budaway has talked about trying to become more mentally tough coming down the stretch on Sunday. For Yelimi No, Jim, it's a player who achieved great things as a teenager, and she's trying to get back to that form, still just 22 years old.
Yeah, that's what those expectations do to you. Sometimes they'll strangle you. You know, you come out, you have that great success, you have higher expectations. Other people have expectations, but your personal, Karen, expectations that can get you if you're not careful.
Oh, that Jim, you never a truer word spoken. You strive so hard to achieve. You work hard for it, and you kind of know that, you know, everybody says, oh, hard work pays off. So you kind of expect it to happen for you too. And then when it doesn't, it can be quite jarring.
This is Na Renan at the 10th. How about from that first cut?
It's going to be difficult to stop. But very sneaky using the contours of the green to get that one close to the hole.
Took some of the steam out of it. Seemed to. Back at the 9th.
Su Chia Chang. The last group has, that's very nicely done there. I was going to say the last group has lost a bit of momentum and they need something to go their way. They need to start seeing putts like that fall. This is a third shot here for Morgan Matreau. Dropped a shot on the previous hole. So does not want to let shots slip on the back 9. Important to get this up and down. Trying to use that slope. She's just overcooked it, I think, Karen.
Oh, yeah. It's just the effort of trying to catch somebody that's 14 under and trying to force something to happen can cause things to go pear-shaped.
Wei Ling Shi at the 10th. So 3 good looks at birdie coming up there as we go to 15.
She's here in Naveed.
This is a little surprise time. She had it going. Now, that'll make her feel a little bit better, but she had it going like really well yesterday. At one point, I think she was 8 under par.
Yeah, she's 5 over for the day. So really going in the wrong direction today, which is a great shame. Valenzuela for a birdie. I expected a bit more from her today, I must say. I thought she would put herself into contention, but she's 2 over par through the front 9 for this final round, and 7 back of the lead. The story of the day, a round of 60 by Linnea Strom.
Second shot at 12 for Ayaka Budaway.
Yeah, just 102, but it's straight downwind. So already it's tough to hold this green with straight downwind.
Over at the 10th, Na Rin on to get to double digits.
Oh, that was a good looking stroke. She made some good putts yesterday too. Mentioned that in her interviews, how she felt that she was very comfortable with her putting.
This is No at 12.
Yeah, just 94 yards, and based on Foodaway's shot, she needs to land this just short, one bounce, and see if she can hold it.
Trying to cut it in there, maybe, Karen?
Well, it's. I think it was like a last minute. I'm aiming too far left. Got to try and hold on to it just to make it go to the right.
Over at the 10th, Wailing Shi for birdie.
And that's well done.
Gets her to 9 under. There is time for these players, but they'll need something special on the back. 13.
This is the 4th shot here for Montreux.
Going to be quite quick, Tom. They'll land it just on the green. There you go.
Yeah, should save the bogey, but it's going to be back-to-back drop shots for the Swiss.
Let's see if we can get a birdie for all 3 in this group at the 10th. And so Megan Kang moves up to 11 under par. This is going to be fun. You've got 3 players who've won, chasing Linnea Strom, who hasn't.
Who all know that they've got to find a way to make some birdies without making mistakes.
13.
This is Titikun's 2nd. This is a player who is going to be fearless coming down the stretch. Knows she can win on the LPGA, proven winner, player who's been at the top of the world rankings.
That's what it's going to take, Tom. Be fearless.
All right, we have a 3rd here for Saigo Jim at the 12th.
Yeah, terrible wedge shot coming in here after that bogey at the last hole. He's got to land it just on and try to get it to hole. Got to go straight up with it, though.
Going to be an awkward putt. Just how quickly this golf hole in particular can catch up with the player. She just missed it right, and because of that difficulty of the pitch coming back from the right, you see players like Foodaway playing a little bit more cautiously to the left, which is where, Tom, you were saying about that fearless golf comes into play. You have to attack hole locations like this on 12 because it's such a short club in your hand.
So now Foodaway.
Yeah, I think also, Karen, it's being downwind, and this green was firmer than some of the others we've seen. I think that's what the players are trying to figure out now in day 3. Some of them are a little softer than others, and this is one of them for whatever reason, because it's not a very big surface and everybody's walking on it. I'm sure that firms things up, but this putt right here comes down the slope, and it could fall a little bit left if it loses some speed, but it's one she can make. She gets the right read on it.
Keeping that flag in, but that flag's fluttering around quite heavily towards her, Jim.
It is, Karen. I don't like that. I like, as you see it, it's moving pretty good. It could affect it. Just like that, a huge gust comes out. I think they're going to take it out now. I think that's a smart play, Karen. Good call there.
Yeah. There's no need to leave that in and run the risk of it ricocheting off out of it. Oh, she had the line.
She'll stay 2 back if she makes that.
Steph Kiriakou at 13th. She had a tough start to the day, and she made a 6 at the 8th, but has bounced back nicely with 3 birdies since then. She gives herself another chance there. Try and get it back to level par for the day. This is the second to last group coming through the 11th. And Narin back on the tee. That's what the players see. So if you're watching just a little earlier, you saw foot away through the green, that fescue grass behind the holes kind of looming there.
When you're playing this course, Tom, it's one of the scariest things is the prospect of ending up in that thick fescue.
It's going to drift off the green, so just makes that task more difficult. You've got to, it's just a funny way to play. I mean, I would hazard a guess that nobody in the field has experienced anything quite like this.
No, I would agree with that, particularly.
You'll let me know for birdie.
Particularly in those last few groups, because if you're in those last few groups, you're expecting that, you know, nobody's really going to come from that far back. But it's happened here, and these players better get ready for these last few holes.
And Megan Kang, 3 behind. And wind blowing the tops of those trees. She was joking yesterday, saying one thing about her victory in Canada last year: the bugs are the same here. And that just didn't get the hop forward that she was looking for. Back over to the 13th, Tidekun to get to 12 under par. She's just confused as to how that's missed that far left. Back over to number 11, and Wei-Ling Shi working on a little drill there.
Some players having one swing thought is actually quite beneficial for them. I know a lot of people like to think that playing without thought is the way to play golf, but a lot of players actually need something. It becomes part of their process.
When you were playing your best golf, what were you doing?
I had one little swing thought. I liked just one. I didn't need 2, 3. I just wanted something that when I was making my practice swing, it gave me something to think of. And then I would just repeat it over the ball. It just took my mind off of the result and put me back into the strike mode.
Morgan Mitreau at 14. 5 back with 5 holes to play. That is a good start. Played late on Sunday a couple of years ago here. Brooke Henderson came back to win. Ayaka Budaway at 12 for par. At 13.
Kiriakou for the birdie. Yeah, continues this good run. So that moves her into a tie for 17th. We go back to the tee at the 13th. And what's the breeze like at the moment out there, Jim?
As strong as it's been all day, Tom, just as you spoke. It's right back into the players' faces. They want to try to get up this right side because it's mown down grain. They might get some roll, but I think the key for her, if she's going to make a run, she's going to have to get through these next 3 holes at even par. If she can do that, make a couple birdies coming in. But these 3 holes will be the key if she's going to make that run.
Part of the job done here at the 13th. Yilimi No should be next to go.
Yeah, she's got a little more length off the tee, so just right into another gust. It's just, that's the difficult part, Karen, is when you get those gusts. But you know, I've always believed if you hit a solid shot, the wind won't affect it that much. It's when you try to hit it hard and you get that thing spinning, then you lose control of it.
Well, and this might be a little hard for Yelimi, because she looks like she's working on trying to not hit so much of a draw, and maybe keeping the club more a little bit on the outside swing path coming through. And you don't need to hit a big slice here.
No, she's got that going up the left side to see if it stays in the fairway.
Yeah, should do. Hardest fairway to hit on the back nine, that 13th. And we go back over to the 11th. Hardest green to hit on the back nine is this 11th. Hardest green to hit on the course. Less than 40% of the field finding the green here today. That's not what you need to put the pressure on having to make a putt like that just to stay at 10 under par. It's been, well, it's been a historic day, there's no doubt about it. Linnea Strom, a round of 60, leads by 2. Second at the 11th with Wailing Sheen. See her down there at the bottom of the leaderboard, 9 under. Maybe 10 if that goes in, but it's going to be a par. And we'll go back one to number 10.
And the final group, overnight leader Jenny Shin. Two over today, and the one-shot lead is now a 6-shot deficit.
Long putt here from Megan Kang, and Karen, is so difficult to get the speed right.
Well, and the pressure's really on, because you can't allow yourself a 3 putt at this stage if you're Megan. But this is fantastic for speed.
And Morgan Matreau to get one of those shots back that she lost. Yeah, nice. Back-to-back bogeys at 12 and 13, but back to 10 under, and mathematically still in it.
Back to the 13th, and looks like Sai goes first to go here, Jim.
Yeah, Foodaway was not quite to her ball. This is from 164, and she's flighted that down nicely. It's playing about 15 yards more.
Yeah, it's a good shot there. They'd all take that. Playing just over its par right now. Food away.
Yeah. Middle of the green.
Actual numbers 168. I'm going to say 185 to 188. It's playing uphill, back into the teeth of the wind, going with a hybrid. Sometimes hard to kind of flight these down. Let's see if she can. Pretty good gust right now.
We were right to left in that time.
That was a 4 hybrid. It's out to the right, trying to draw back.
Oh, what a shot.
That is
Oh,
very good
Yeah, it was.
indeed.
wow. She'll have that to get within 1.
Yeah.
It's getting close.
Now you let me know.
Yeah, just 144 in here. Just something a little bit left. Maybe it'll spin a little bit to the right. And that's exactly the shot she's tried to hit, but it's going just a little right.
Just a tricky chip coming up.
Now back on the tee at 15. Morgan Matreau. Well, she's going to have to play the last 4 holes in 4 under. Eagle chance potentially on the 18th, but the 2 here would go a very long way.
Yeah, the 18th tee's been moved up a little bit today, Tom, so players have even more of an opportunity there.
That gives her a chance for a birdie here. Par putt here for Narin Ahn. Save in the end there. So she remains 4 back. Well, it is very difficult to predict how this is going to play out here. Foodaway has a great chance at the 13th to get within 1. A handful of players with a chance to catch or maybe pass Linnea Strom at the top of the leaderboard. Morgan Montreux for her career best finish, and credit to Marina Alex for the way she played today, playing alongside Linnea Strom with that round of 7 under par, and she's currently tied 5th. Good week for Maria Farsi, much needed. Brooke Henderson, high hopes at the beginning of the week for Brooke, winner here a couple of years ago. Hannah Green's had a great season to finish inside the top 25. Our coverage continues here at the ShopRite LPGA Classic.
It's a Sunday sprint at the ShopRite LPGA Classic, this 54-hole event after a 36-hole cut Saturday. Playing for all the marbles today across the bay from Atlantic City. The longest of long shots, Linnea Strom, began the day tied for last place. Grant Boone, Karen Stupples watching her at the 9th.
And she wasn't in last place for very long, and shots like this help catapult her up that leaderboard.
That was a pitch in for eagle and a front 9 31, 6 under par from 7 back when the round began. Made a birdie at 14 to take the lead, and then at 16.
Well, there's a backstop that your players can use with the spin to get it close, and that's exactly what Linnea does here.
That would take her to 9 under for the day and to 12 under for the tournament. She was leading by 2. The leaders hadn't even teed off in the final round at the short 17th. This for another birdie.
Well, it's only playing 77 yards today. She finds a way.
She goes to the par 5 18th, needing an eagle for a 59, like fellow Swede Annika Sorenstam. Came up a little short with her pitch shot, but this birdie for a 60. It's the tournament record. It ties the second lowest score in the 75 years of the LPGA Tour, and it shoots Linnea Strom, the 27-year-old from Sweden by way of Arizona State, into the lead at that moment by 4. Take a look at the scorecard, and one number jumps out, Karen.
The number of putts. I mean, just 20 putts on these greens is really quite remarkable.
From 7 back to the lead, and when she finished that historic 60, she spoke with Tom Abbott.
Well, thanks, Grant. That is one of the most historic rounds in the history of the LPGA Tour. When did you get an inkling that a round like this was coming?
I mean, I don't know, if I'm being honest. I've actually been working on a lot of stuff in my swing recently, and obviously haven't really had the start of the season that I wanted. So I was back in Sweden last week, and, you know, always going back home, it gives me some confidence, just be with family and friends and just be in home environment. So I did have a good feel going into this week, and I felt like I played decent the first 2 rounds. And then finally today, everything just clicked, and hold some good putts and hit some shots pretty close. So that kind of took some pressure off it as well. So I'm just very happy with my round.
Was the highlight for you at the 9th?
I think it was, yeah. I mean, when I hit the chip, I thought I hit it way past it, and then all of a sudden it just dropped. So that was exciting. And then I missed some tee shots on 13 and 14 and managed to save 2 very good pars. So I think that kind of gave me some confidence too, to kind of just keep going and keep getting back on that birdie train.
oftentimes players say they're in the zone, they don't really know what's going on. Were you aware of what you were shooting and where you stood on the leaderboard?
Yes and no. I mean, I a little bit, but I tried to just, take one shot at a time and just do as good as I could today. And I mean, I didn't think about the 59 in my head, but maybe I should have on the last and, try and get a better tee shot down there. But it's okay. I'm happy that I managed to make a birdie at the end on 18. So, yeah.
Best putting round of your life? I think you only had 20 putts.
I know. I think it might be, and I have been working on my putting, so it's good to see some result coming with that too. So yeah.
And finally, what will you do? I mean, you've got a few hours now to wait. What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. My dad is here. He came with me from Sweden last week, so I think we're gonna go in, enjoy some lunch now with my dad and my caddy, and just see what's gonna happen, I guess.
Congratulations on a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
Her 99th start of her LPGA career produces a tie for the second lowest score in LPGA history. Only Annika better than Linnea Strom today.
And, you can see that there's been a number of 60s that players have shot, but I feel like this year on the LPGA Tour, we're getting closer and closer to somebody breaking that 60 barrier again.
And the 60 is one thing. It's amazing, as you see, historically. But she is suddenly in this great position to win, and the conditions are not great at the moment for low scores.
No, not at all. The wind is picking up, it's very gusty, and putting is becoming more and more difficult as the day goes on.
Ayaka Budaway, Megan Kang, Ataya Titikun all have won on the LPGA Tour. And they are giving chase at 13. Tom.
This is Budaway for a birdie. This is really important. Closest challenger right now.
All right, Megan Kang is over at the short 12th. A lot of holes are short here. It's the shortest course on tour, under 6,000 yards today. Megan Kang with a short putt to get to 12 under par. They're all chasing Linnea Strom after her 60 today. NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Galloway, New Jersey, it's final round coverage of the ShopRite LPGA Classic, presented by Acer. Sunny, breezy, and warm from across the bay. Atlantic City beckons. America's playground for so many years. Fun in the sun today, and a lot of fun for Linnea Strom. No one has ever gone lower here. A 60, setting a tournament record. And perhaps, just perhaps, her first LPGA title, her first LPGA trophy. She's got some strong challengers still with a chance to catch or maybe pass her. Karen, Tom, and I are joined by five-time PGA Tour winner Jim Gallagher Jr. out on the golf course watching some of the chasers. Karen, we began with 25 players within 4 shots of Jenny Shin, the overnight leader, and now that number of players who could win this thing has shrunk. Maybe you count them on one hand.
Well, and the holes are running out for the players that do have a chance to catch Strom as well. And this is the interesting part of the tournament now, are the players that are trying to chase a number that has been posted in conditions that are getting tougher. And this is quite the test.
Wei-Ling Shi could not get that one to fall. One of the challengers here is at the 15th.
Ataya Titikun, so she's got 4 holes to play, 3 back of the lead. Now Budaway, of course, could increase that number to 15 or 16 under par potentially, but right now I've got to concentrate on 14 under, so she needs to play the last 4 and 3 under. Looked like a really good swing there, Karen.
Yeah, it did. And this 50th hole is just not an easy hole to try and make a birdie on. It's long. You've got that crosswind that causes the players some issues.
The closest pursuer to Linnea Strom is 24-year-old from Japan, Ayaka Budaway, and Jim Gallagher is there at the 14th.
I sure am. I felt like 13, 14, and 15 are key holes. She made birdie at the last one, but this coming out of the rough, 133 is always tough to judge. If she lands it on the green, it could release and go past, but it's straight down a big wind.
Like she tried to ease into that one a little bit, like she felt like that was going to go too far, so she slowed down, and by doing so left that hanging out to the right. That'll be a really tough 2-putt.
And the wind whipping harder than it has all day. Megan Kang with this to get to 12 under at the 12th. She had the lead going into the final round in Canada, but had to come back within that final round.
Well, and 12 under and within 2. But you're right, she did have to come back. Things were slipping away from her, but she got it together. She's quite the competitor.
So at one point, a 4-shot lead for Linnea Strom. They're lining up behind her on this sprint Sunday at the ShopRite. Morgan Matreau at the 16th. Front hole location. This is not the player from Switzerland we were expecting to contend today. Alban Valenzuela's in the final group, but Matreau playing brilliantly. Over at 14. This is Ayaka Budaway. Long putt for birdie.
Yeah, challenging 2-putt about 45 feet. It ought to go back to the back of the green, which is right, and the wind's blowing as well, so tough to judge the speed sometimes on this length of putt.
One thing we've learned in 3 years, she hits it straight and she can putt.
Yeah, she can. Still going to be a bit of a challenge. There's a little bit of right movement on that little 3-footer. We'll see.
Let's take a look at the win probability entering the final round. Jenny Shin had a 1-shot lead, 30%. Look at the bottom. Linnea Strom was tied for last place, 52nd. Had to birdie the last hole yesterday just to make the cut. 0.001% her win probability.
Just goes to show you golf is a funny game, isn't it? That at any moment you can really find a little something and produce a fabulous score.
How about Yelimi No at 14? From Northern California, slowly creeping back up the Rolex rankings. 15.
Yeah, he talks about how difficult this hole was playing today. Second hardest on the golf course, only 5 birdies so far. So this is not a hole that you're wanting to play having to birdie. Those last 2 holes are the birdie opportunities. 17 with the tee moved up, playing just 77 yards, and then the par 5, 18. This is the tee shot at 13 for Megan Kang.
Yeah.
She's only 2 behind. Tough stretch of the golf course, 11, 12, and then 15's a tough hole as well.
And this is a rookie from Japan, Mao Saigo, birdie at 14.
Yeah, she appears to be thinking this is going to go a little bit to the right, which is what I kind of have it. So, and the wind, I don't know if it's going to be a factor or not, because the greens aren't fast enough to really blow it, and just got to get it on that proper line.
Just hung out there, but the difficulty with the wind with the putts is that you can blow you around, so you don't stand steady, and it can blow the putt ahead.
She's strong only 6. This is to stay at 9 under. Just dropped a shot at 12. goes here. So her chance is really slipping away. Let's go back over to the 14th.
And as Karen said, a little bit of work here for Budaway to stay one back.
Yeah, no, if I wanted someone to putt this one, it would be her. Just inside that left edge and firm.
Like it's nothing.
Story for Budaway. How does she handle the stretch run? She has put herself in position so many times in her 2.5 seasons on tour. Well, the time is now for Morgan Mitreau of Switzerland. Just won on the LPGA Tour, on the Ladies European Tour a couple of weeks ago at Evian. This for birdie to get within 3.
Gave it a good roll.
Yeah, she needed to birdie that one in 17 and then eagle 18. Back on the tee, Atthaya Thitikul.
It's got to hold on a bit.
Common miss with so much trouble. Heavy fescue to the right.
Well, back into the wind, that fescue comes into play.
Well, we are still trying to get our heads around what has happened today. A little after noon here at the Bay Course at Seaview, Linnea Strum finished off the lowest round in the history of this tournament, the second lowest round in the history of the LPGA Tour. She literally turned the leaderboard upside down from tied for last place entering the day to now leading by 1. And she's forced these other players to have to come get her, and that's going to be a challenge for them, won't it?
Well, at the start of the day, they were only thinking about those last 3 or 4 groups that they were going to be competing with out there. And it's a very different prospect that when you stand on the first tee and all of a sudden you've got a number to chase, you know what the finish line is likely to be. There's no unknowns out there anymore. There's a definite goal. And that's really hard for a lot of players to cope with mentally, having that finish line already set for them. So watching this all unfold is really quite fascinating because you have difficult conditions right now. The wind is up, the greens are firm, they're hard to putt, and you've got to get it in the house at either 14 or better. 14 gets you in a playoff, 15 wins you the tournament. It's just, I mean, fascinating mentally that the different approaches that the players have to take.
You love the excitement, that reachable into par 5 18th. And you've got 3 proven winners right there, still with a chance mathematically.
Exactly. And they're great players too. They all know how to handle the pressure when it comes to it. And they're not afraid of attacking the golf course either.
Yeah, these are 3 players inside the top 30 in the Rolex rankings. Talking about Budaway, Megan Kang, and Atthaya Thitikul. That's how it looks. I mean, that number just jumps out, doesn't it? 60. Only 5 other times has it ever happened, and only 1 better in LPGA history. And off to the 15th, Tom.
Yeah, getting a beautiful view of Reeds Bay there, and a lovely place to play golf. Galloway National next door as well. One of the best golf courses on the East Coast. So this is a lovely little pocket of the state to play golf, and it'll be fun to watch them coming home here, Jim. Budaway on the tee.
Yeah, 182. Remember the 11th hole played 182, but it was a right to left helping wind. This is more of a left to right, and it's uphill crosswinds. But I don't think as the player you really want to flirt with that left side, because if you short side yourself, it's very difficult. Maybe start it at the flag, and if it ends up a little bit right of the hole, you get 3 and get out of here. This is not really what I would consider a birdie hole. If you make one, that's a huge bonus, but par is a good score. And as leaking out to the right.
Yeah, don't want to go too far. Careful, it goes down there. It's going to be on the downslope as well, so makes the task a little bit more difficult. Feel like she can't afford to make a mistake at this point. As we go to 13, Megan Kang second. Yeah. And she set up a birdie try to get it to 13 under. It's going to be close, that's for sure. Yeah, Strum relaxing at the moment as best she can, trying to potentially be ready for more golf in just a little while.
Atthaya Thitikul 3 shots back from the rough at 16.
She's a little bit long and a little bit left. It will come back to the hole. We saw Stroms do that.
Makeable.
Yeah, I think she might try and chip that. I think that's putt it. I think that's a chip.
It's the ball of a foot away. We can bring in Jim Gallagher Jr., who's out there for us.
Yeah, very awkward lie. That's a tree that was cut down. That I don't know if it affects it as much as the lie. The ball's way above her feet, and it's really firm right where she is. She might have to get this a little bit steep, and it's one where the heel could really dig in. It's just a really awkward lie more than anything. You need to be about 6'8" to hit this shot. It'd be a lot easier.
Any root issue there? I mean, she's right by that old tree stump.
Well, all that is just on the backswing is more of the, I would call it a restricted swing.
But no roots under the ground, you don't think? Then?
No, there should not be any roots. But it's really firm, though, Tom. That's a good call because of the old tree. Looks like she's going to be first to hit.
It's a big shot here, Jim. I mean, she's got to get this up and down, really. I mean,
yeah, she really does.
2 shots and 3 to play is a tough task.
It is, and we knew this hole was hard with this wind, but it's just such an awkward lie. If she can get it within as good as she putts, 5-6 feet would be a really good shot. I'm not trying to make this harder than it is. It's just such an awkward lie.
In many ways, she's lucky that the tree has been cut down and that the actual tree isn't there.
This is Mal Saigo. She's over on the other side, isn't she, Jim, by our broadcast booth?
Yeah, she's right next to y'all. She wanted to come visit. Y'all must have told her what to do here.
Good effort. Yeah, what a shot. What a shot that is. Now, foot away. Just going to wait for her fellow countryman to mark it.
I can tell you, she'll take it that close for sure, but looks like she's coming in a little from, flatter, so I don't think that old tree stump's bothering her as much as this lie with it way above her feet. Probably going to choke this down and just try to catch it out on the toe, come out a little bit softer.
I'd rather more of an out to in kind of swing path than the low and inside one that she's practicing.
Me too, I agree.
Came out very well. What a shot that is. What a shot that is from foot away. Third on tour and scrambling. And it shows right there.
As you suspected, it is going to be a chip for Titakun. Might need to make it. Birdie at 17, eagle at 18, not out of the question by any means.
She has enough length.
This is a birdie putt for Matro. It's going to keep her tied for 5th, but her performance here should put her into the KPMG Women's PGA, regardless of what happens now. Kang for birdie at 13. Okay, she moves to within 1. And Megan Kang comes alive here to start the back 9. Megan, of course, broke through to win last year at Shaughnessy, Canada. It's a long time coming. We know that she has got the game to make it happen. Titakun tapped in at 16, so she's 3 back, 2 to play. Footaway has this to stay 1 back, 3 to play.
Yeah, this is the biggest putt she's had so far today. It's a little bit of a slider, and as Karen said, when the wind's blowing from your back, it could push you and move it, but she's been solid. This is as big a putt, like I said. Just keep it in the hole with some speed.
Yeah.
Wow. This is quite the performance, because it is not easy out there to keep making those putts making those good saves that she's been doing.
All right, Megan Kang, 4 threes to begin her back 9, and now just 1 back. So much to play for Foodaway and Megan Kang in terms of making their country's Olympic teams. Just next week at the Meyer LPGA Classic and then the KPMG Women's PGA. Only 2 more events to qualify for Paris, and a trophy on the line today. Big save for par at 15 for Ayaka Foodaway. This was her tee shot at 16.
Yeah, there's about 235 to carry that right side, but she's not messing with that.
No problem at all.
And to 17.
Yeah, the short hole, just 77 yards today. Tee moved up. This needs to set up a birdie try to get her to 12 under, and then she can eagle the last and tie the 14 under par number.
Over at the 14th, Jong-un Lee 6. Won the U.S. Open in 2019, came here the next week, had the lead going into the final round, but like historically happens here, was caught. Lexi Thompson with an eagle at 18 just edged her out. Ayaka Foodaway, 1 victory. It was in Scotland a couple of years ago, shot 62 on Sunday, and now trying to chase down Linnea Strom. This was a birdie putt.
And the 7th hole is not an easy par 3. That's a good, tough par 3 again, so she made that look easy.
And that was her 4th birdie of the day. She would birdie the 9th. And another nice save. And then her second shot at 13.
And she stopped because of a wind gust, got back into it, and then played a fantastic draw into this right hole location.
All right, so that birdie would take her to 13 under par. Nice 2-putt for par at 14. A tremendous up and down at 15. Now the 24-year-old, who currently is at 22nd in the Rolex rankings, 3 places behind Nasa Hataoka, who was disqualified Saturday morning because she had taken too long to search for her ball on the 9th hole. Her final hole Friday, Nasa DQ'd after a 65. So a chance for Foodaway not only to win, but to leapfrog Nasa for that 2nd spot on the Japan Olympic golf team. 17.
Yeah, this is Tidekun for a birdie. Injured at the beginning of the season, only her 5th start on the LPGA Tour, but she's really coming into some good form. Could be a lucrative summer for Tidekun.
And at the 16th, a 2nd for Foodaway.
Yeah, 129 back into a little bit of a right to left crosswind. A location just on the front portion of that green.
Looked like she eased into that one as well, just a little bit.
That'll be a putt to tie Strom with a short par 3 and a reachable par 5 to come. Even perhaps reachable for Foodaway. Megan Kang is at 14. Karen, how about the wind as you move back toward the bay here at 14?
Well, it's downwind, so the players will have to allow for some pitch and release because you're not going to get it to stop too much. But you also have to know where you're landing on the green. If you're landing it in the front few yards, 4 yards or so, it will pitch into a little upslope, so it will stop quicker. If you land it anywhere near the sort of middle of the green, it's gone.
She didn't like that one, but it'll be a putt to tie the lead nonetheless. Megan is 16th in the Rolex rankings. She needs a big couple of weeks if she's going to make it to Paris to play for the red, white, and blue in the Olympics. At the 16th to tie the lead, Ayaka Budaway. Couple of feet left, and then off to the 77-yard par 3 17th. Atlantic City off in the distance. Megan Kang at the 14th has a putt for birdie. Take a look at our insights by KPMG. Round 165, 8 birdies and 116 feet of putt. She did not putt great last week at Lancaster, Karen, but this week a different story.
It is, and I think sometimes a lot of that is proximity, how close you're hitting the ball to the hole. Lancaster, it was very easy to have 45 footers for par just because of the nature of the course and how difficult it was to get in close. Here, you have a lot of short clubs in your hands. You have some par 5s that are reachable in 2. And I just think it provides more scoring opportunities and allows the players shorter putts.
This to tie Strom at 14 under.
Good roll.
Check back in with Japan's Mao Saigo at 16 for birdie.
Yeah, not much in this. Could slide right, I guess.
I sure did.
Yeah.
That reaction is everybody normally on these greens, unless you're Linnaeus, John.
You played here 11 years. You've had that reaction a couple of times.
That's a very familiar look to me.
This is Korea's Na-Rin An in her 3rd season on the LPGA Tour. She has flirted with victory a couple of times and was one of those 2 back when the round started. Karen, it's just hard to describe how this tournament changed with Strom's 60. There were 26 players separated by 4 shots when the round began.
Well, it's the pressure of the final few holes right from the word go. Because, you know, in the final few holes you have a chance to win, you kind of jockey in for position, that's how it is. But you have that right from the get-go. You've got to perform, otherwise you're going to lose. It's a completely different mindset.
Yeah, a little bit of work here for Budaway and Jim on these greens. You've watched it all week. You've watched this for a lot of years. These are not gimmies.
No, I have not seen anyone just get up and tap it in. They've all stayed in the routine. I'm not trying to play slow. It's just you have to pay attention to these putts. We've seen them missed.
No problem. Late afternoon Poana. It's almost 4 o'clock here. Eastern time. Eastern Seaboard. Off she goes to the 17th, 1 back. And at the 14th, Wei-Ling Shi from Taiwan.
Yeah, that wind still gusting out there.
Seen a few putts get away. Well, Linnaeus Strom is trying to have the biggest comeback in terms of positioning in the tournament in LPGA history. Lynn Grant today, her fellow Swede and fellow Arizona State Sun Devil today, had the biggest final round comeback in the history of the DP World Tour. She won her second Volvo Scandinavian Mixed. She shot 65, including a pitch-in on the last hole. And then Sebastian Soderberg struggled with a double bogey on the 18th, horseshoeing his bogey putt that would have forced a playoff. And Lynn Grant, 2 wins in that mixed event. DP World Tour men and the ladies of the Ladies European Tour. What a day it could be for Sweden and Arizona State. 17, Tom.
Yeah, Akafutaway has other ideas, though. She's got a chance here. 1 back, 2 to play.
2 very holes you can definitely make birdies on. Just as you said, 77 yards, maybe hit something just past it, just right of it, maybe let it spin back, but you've got to get it on the green. Can't try to get cute with this. She's played smart so far through it. Been very patient.
Comes this hole with a lot of confidence, Jim. She's birdied it 2 days already.
Oh, careful.
Oh, that was within a foot of going long.
A little bit of adrenaline there, maybe.
Oof, thank goodness for some spin.
Back on the 15th. Got Jung Eun Lee 6 for a birdie. Playing in the 3rd to last group, so we could have an odd situation here where the last few groups on the golf course will not have a chance to win the tournament, which is really unusual. You let me know.
Actually happened a couple of years ago when Brooke Henderson won, but you're right, it doesn't happen very often. Is this with some soft hands? See if this will spin. Oh, wow. Well, it spun, I guess.
It did. I mean, it kind of just wrapped itself around the flagpole. Yeah, she's smiling. Just keep a close eye on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, just clip the end of the flag.
Ooh.
Okay, careful here. 3 feet for par for Megan Kang. Hasn't played here much, first time in 4 years, but was reminded of how much she loves the environment, loves crowds here. She got a chance to win for a 2nd time on the LPGA Tour.
Looking from behind the regular tee towards the green. They moved the tee up 1 today, which is why it's so short here at the 17th. It is just one of those little Donald Ross par 3s. We may see a little bit of that next week at Pinehurst. Futaway was not far away from going off the back of the green, Jim.
No, not that far, but Saigo putted just ahead of her, and her ball went right and came up about 3.5 feet short, so she knows the speed in the line. If she has the speed, it will fall a little bit right, but this putt looks downhill as you walk up on the front of the green, but it really doesn't play that way.
Just to tie the lead. And it should be a 3 for Futaway, but she's going to need to birdie the last. She's not the longest hitter on the LPGA Tour, far from it.
But the tee's been moved up, Tom.
Yeah.
I think that'll make a big difference.
She's 114th in driving distance, averaging just over 250 yards off the tee.
Ataya Titikun. Well, we've had one albatross this week here at the 9th hole. Ataya needs to hold this. Oh, that had to have looked good. Karen?
Yep. I mean, it was a great shot.
15.
Megan Kang only 1 back. Oh, this could get down towards the hole. That is so good. One of the best we've seen at just the right time for Megan Kang. And that will be to get to 14 under par.
Megan Kang began the day a couple shots off the lead, but like everyone, was chasing Linnea Strom. Karen, her second at 10.
And it's a blind second shot for her, but able to judge the distance really well there.
And that would take her to 11 under. Nice two-putt for par at 11. Don't forget about that one. Then at 12.
Another great wedge shot in there.
Making short work. This shortest course on the LPGA Tour today, playing under 6,000 yards, and for another 3.
I mean, what a great roll on these greens that are quite tricky. That ball was rolling.
Last in strokes gained putting last week at the U.S. Women's Open, but lights out this week. So take a look at the U.S. Olympic team standings as it stands. She dropped from 15th to 16th in this week's Rolex rankings. You can have a maximum of 4 players if all 4 are in the top 15. So those 3 are locks, because just 2 more weeks are left to qualify. So this is an enormous 45 minutes or so for Megan Kang for multiple reasons. The trophy at stake, but also a chance to move back up into the top 15 and punch her ticket to Paris. Atthaya Thitikul for Eagle. Close out a good solid week. If you'd have told her when the day started, when the morning broke, that she was going to shoot 6 under, I think she might have thought,
Pretty good.
Maybe might have a chance to win.
I mean, I thought 12 would be a good number, and then Strom just kind of knocked that number out.
Tom, you said this when you were speaking with Linnea. You wondered what she would do. She finished, what, about 12:30 noon, and it's now almost 4 o'clock. So she's had a chance to rest and have a bite to eat, perhaps, and then now trying to work her way. This is, you just don't see this, Karen.
Well, no, and it's difficult for her because she's finished a round on a bit of a high. The adrenaline's up. Now it's kind of come down a little bit because she's sat, she's had lunch, she's rested. But she's got to go hit some balls. She's going to do the putting because, I mean, this could legitimately end up in a playoff.
For sure.
I mean, but Megan Kang's looking pretty strong.
Megan will have a putt at 15 to tie the lead. The deepest anyone's ever come back, and according to the LPGA records, is 20th. That was Kari Webb in 2014 at the Founders Cup. She came from 20th place to win. Linnea Strom was 52nd and tied for last place when the day began.
60 will do that for you.
60 apparently will. All right, so Ayaka Budaway knows, I would imagine, Jim, what she needs to do. 1 shot back with 1 to play.
Yeah, I've got her ball over on that right side of the tee. Probably going to play a little bit of a draw. That's what her shot has been. As you said, this tee's up, so can kind of get it up that right side and maybe turn it over with the wind.
That'll make getting to the green into more difficult.
A player who doesn't have an abundance of power. 15.
Big putt here. This to tie Strom. They've been trying all day to get to that number. Got it. And we have a tie at the top, 14 under par. Megan Kang has a really good chance to win this. 3 holes to go. Linnea Strom has been finished for hours. She is getting ready for a potential playoff. We may not need one, but it is going to be an exciting finish.
Today's coverage is brought to you by ShopRite. Check out happy. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf. Final round of this 54-hole ShopRite LPGA Classic, and Megan Kang has tied the lead. On the tee at 16. Quick reach for the tee.
Yeah, she likes it. Back into the wind. Players having to play a little bit more to the left on this dogleg right.
And 27-year-old Linnea Strom, her 99th LPGA start. She's played 5 seasons back and forth the last few years. Epson Tour, LPGA Tour. She, as we said, had to birdie her last hole yesterday just to make the 36-hole cut. And then she got busy this morning. Third group out, Karen. Birdies at 3, 5, 6, 8, and then this third at 9.
Oh, you've got to take advantage of these par 5s, and she just does that with an eagle.
An eagle pitch. She would birdie the 10th. She would birdie the 14th. And then, now suddenly from 7 back with a 1-shot lead, she just kept the pedal down.
Lands it in just the right place to use that backstop to get that close.
A tap-in birdie at a tough par 4. And suddenly her lead was 2. Over to 17 for another birdie.
And not an easy putt from above the hole. But she makes it look easy.
She was 10 under with the par 5 18th to play. Had an eagle pitch of about 50 yards that came to rest at this point and buried the birdie at 18 for a 60, a new tournament record. And the second lowest score in the 75-year history, the LPGA Tour. Ayaka Foodaway is trying to join Strom and Kang at 14 under. Got a second shot at the par 5 18.
Yeah, but she's caught the rough. It's 207 total. This is a 4-wood. It's an average lie.
I think you've got to land this short, Jim, and let it chase on.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She's hit this solid.
Oh, yeah.
It's looking pretty good if it's right club.
Oh, it's too much.
Showing us those great pictures, our man Ed Krivis celebrating his 70th birthday today. Happy birthday, Ed, and as usual, right on top of it. So Ayaka Foodaway is going to have an opportunity, should she hole it, to take the lead up and down to tie Megan Kang and Linnea Strom. Strom is waiting with some of her friends to see if she has more golf to play. Megan Kang in the fairway, tied at 16. Good start to this 16th for Megan Kang. Here's her approach, tied for the lead. Oh, we've seen 3 players do that, Karen.
Well, she's going to be chipping that, and adds a different element to the equation there.
Ayaka Foodaway is just beyond the 18th green, and Jim Gallagher went over there to take a look. Is she going to get relief, would you guess, Jim?
I would think so, because it looks like it's going to interfere with her backswing, and it obviously is, but yeah, it's definitely going to interfere, so she'll get relief. Just waiting on an official.
And again, there's so much to play for Foodaway. 3 places in the Rolex rankings behind her countrywoman Nasahata Oka for that second Japanese Olympic golf spot. Yuka Saso, with the victory last week at the U.S. Women's Open, has locked up the first spot. Linnea Strom on the practice putting green across the street. Morgan Luttrell congratulating her. And she went out at the 3rd group this morning, 3.5 hours before the leaders. They had just teed off when she finished off that round of 60. So it's been 3.5 hours since she finished. While Budaway gets a ruling, a drop. Saigo with a sip to wet the whistle, and now a third for Saigo here, Jim.
Yeah, going up that slope, the first 10 or 12 feet are right up that hill, really slow, and then it kind of levels off. It should swing left at the end. Always tough to judge the speed because you got to hit it so hard at the beginning, and then kind of hope it slows down just a little bit.
Good call. She won 5 times early in 2022. She moved into the top 20 in the Rolex rankings. Currently 54th. Now an LPGA rookie. And Sue Witters is on the scene to advise Budaway of her options. Mikey Scott, Budaway's Scottish caddy.
Yeah.
She had the option of using the drop zone, which is a little further right, which is a little longer shot.
Complete relief is always the key phrase, and then the no closer to the hole, of course. And this is a secondary cut, right, Jim? How about the lie? Can you tell?
Well, it's better than the other lie was, but it did nestle down on the drop. It's sitting down, so she's so good around the greens. If I want anybody to have this chip, it would be her. So I expect this. There's a couple ways you can play it, Karen. You can go up in the air with it, and as we know on Poana, you don't always know what it's going to bounce. So I would think maybe a little lower shot and let it kind of release, carry it on there as far as you can, you know, maybe 10, 15 feet, and let it go over the slope and release that way.
She's been playing those shots quite well. I would also say that it's fairly claustrophobic back there in the area that she's chipping from. That, you know, the stands are very close. Even though she's got relief from them, you still feel like they're on top of you. So you've got to kind of block that out of your mind when you're over this shot.
This to take the lead, should it drop.
Came out fluffy.
That's the issue when you try to go up in the air with it. I thought she'd go more like the shot she hit at 15, that lower shot with a little less loft, but
she'll need to make that to have a chance. Third shot for Kang at the par 4 16.
Oh, that was a great attempt, but left a tricky putt.
Strom handing out souvenirs. I want to save at least one of those.
I was going to say.
Don't give away too many.
No.
You never know how long the playoff's going to last if there is one.
All right, how about an eagle attempt for Yelimi No to finish off a good week?
yeah, it really would be a big help. She's hung in there. It's not been her best the last few holes. Pretty slow, though.
Breaker out of the big pack tied the 25th. Yelimi, who nearly won the Evian Championship as a teenager back in 2021. Still just 22 years old. And signs that her game is trending in the right direction in the last few months. But the stage now belongs to Ayaka Budaway. This to have a chance to tie the lead.
Yeah, I didn't expect this length of putt. This goes left early, then may fall back right at the end. It does I guess, pick up a little speed at the end, but I expected her to a little better chip than that, Karen.
I did too. I do think that somewhat being so close to the stands, it is, as I said, very claustrophobic, can play a part in that.
Not to be. And it's going to be yet another top 5 finish for Ayaka Budaway. The 13th in her 65 LPGA starts, 1 out of every 5. Megan Kang has this for par to stay tied for the lead with 2 holes to play.
She read it to break left, and that did not move, and in fact just wiggled right at the last minute.
Her pitch looked like one from a player trying to jar it, and instead a little bold and could not make the comebacker. And so Linnea Strom has dodged 1 bullet, 1 more to come. Par putt for Budaway. Remarkable consistency, Karen, but another opportunity missed to win for Ayaka.
Yeah, and when you consider that her short game has been so good, this whole back 9 saved her numerous times. Couldn't quite save her one more time there.
I mean, the 65, brilliant,
I know.
but a chance. It just slips away for Budaway. So Strom with only 1 player who can catch her or pass her. That's Megan Kang. Has 2 holes to go. That short 17th, and then that reachable 18th.
She's going to make the drive over to the driving range right now, and it's a good ways away. It's not just right here at the course. You take that shuttle over, and there's still plenty of time for her to get this, to get that hitting in, to get loosened up again.
17.
Wailing Shi on the tee.
Tom, this is for 77 yards. This is fairly interesting, because look where the tee's aiming. The tee's aiming all the way to the right side of the green. You've got to hit this all the way to the left.
It's only yielded 11 birdies today.
Yep.
That's surprising to me. 77 yards. I mean, every player in the field from 77 yards would think to themselves, I want to get this up and down, or expect to get this up and down.
Yep, for sure. The whole location is really tight on that front left side, and judging 77 yards. Awkward, with that tee pointing the way it is. You feel like you're playing across yourself. The hole barely looks like it's on the green.
Deep breaths for Megan Kang. Needs to make a birdie on one of the last 2 holes to tie. Birdie finish, and she's the champion. Sit down. Oh, it's so close to the back of that green. It's going to hang on the edge. Maybe a bit of adrenaline pumping there. I mean, that was not what we expected. So she's not making the task easy. Back at the 17th, and Megan Kang trying to give it a go, trying to chip it in. Good try. She She's certainly been very positive with the chips at 16 and 17.
I think that's what you actually need to do on these greens. You've got to give them a go. You've got to give them a run. But there's always that dilemma. I think when players leave it well short, it's because they're so worried about the return. They're worried about the 4-5 footers.
And we've sent Jim Gallagher Jr. out to this group. He's there at 17th watching Sheep.
Yeah, we've seen this putt. It's a little bit slow and goes to the right. She just saw Megan Kang's chip, so she knows exactly what it's doing.
It's been a very consistent day's golf. She's had all pars and 1 birdie. Not good enough, but still solid week's work. Tied for 7th as it currently stands. Third member of this group is Narayan. She's also back on 9 under.
Yeah, a couple birdies go a long way for her, and she, like, it's always fascinating when you know what it's going to do, but you still have to execute it. There's just that maybe a little slight bit of pressure, but it takes the doubt out, and I would think that would make this putt, you know, put this with a confident roll.
Turn a lot. She will also remain in a tie for 7th. And Megan Kang will have that short par putt. Only her 4th appearance here at the ShopRite LPGA Classic. Never finished inside the top 10 as Megan Kang. It could all change today, Jim.
Lily, I was a little surprised she chipped that, but that's always personal preference, but she almost made that chip shot.
Okay, 1 back, 1 to play.
Well, Megan Kang trying to win for the 2nd time. It's her 9th season on the LPGA Tour. Came out here as a teenager, got to Canada with a 3-shot lead, but struggled a bit on Sunday. And Jin Young Ko, former #1 in the world, with this putt at the 18th to post 9 under, a 69 for Jin Young. And so Megan Kang, who was the hunted, became the hunter. Had to make birdie at 18. And what did she do, Karen?
Well, she played a tremendous shot. First off, she hit the fairway. She put it where she needed to do. And then this one was exactly where she wanted it to land. She got the release that she was expecting. And just a tremendous shot when she absolutely needed it.
Just the 4th birdie of the day. Jin Young Ko in the playoff would tug her tee shot, made double bogey. It set the stage for Kang, and she played the starring role. Won for the first time in her 191st start. She takes down a former #1 in Jin Young Ko. Big hug from her caddy of the last few years, Jack Fulgham. They've made a great team. Said the big crowds there felt like a Solheim Cup. She would go on to play for the U.S. again. And now heads to the reachable 18th, down by 1. A birdie to tie, an eagle for Megan Kang to win. But as we saw with Ayaka Footaway, one of the straightest hitters on the LPGA Tour, you have to work it into this fairway.
Well, with the tee being moved up slightly, it gives the players a different angle. You can run out of room more quickly down the left side because of this tee movement. So the players do have to make an adjustment more to the right, which is somewhat intimidating because it looks like there's a lot more rough over there than there actually is.
Wei-Ling Shi is going to play first.
Yeah, I don't think the wind's blowing near as hard as it was earlier today. I'm not saying it's completely stopped, but it's a lot calmer out here. I would prefer a little bit more of a helping wind for sure. But like you said, just a different angle from this tee being up so far. Fairway is a premium. Nice a low one, and that should have some roll on it.
And now Megan Kang.
You know, Karen, getting that first win like she did, she was always so close. I mean, Solheim Cup, experience. I think she can kind of rely on those feelings. What happened, you win different ways, but it's that feeling you have when you have a chance to win. And I think that's what we've seen that experience paying off so far today for her.
I agree, Jim. She is a competitor first and foremost, and I think that's what stands you in good stead in this moment.
Yeah, she tried to race you to a parking spot that was only there.
That's good.
Everybody loves it.
Had a good start to this par 5 18th for Megan Kang. Linnea Strom finished almost 4 hours ago over on the range trying to stay loose. Does she have more golf ahead of her? We'll find out in a moment. Well, there's Megan Kang, 26 years old, from the Boston area. Back at the ShopRite LPGA Classic, feeling the vibes of this part of the country, she said earlier this week. And now in the fairway at the par 5 18th, reachable in 2, down 1. She's made 1 eagle this season. If she makes one here, she'll have her second LPGA title. If she doesn't make eagle or birdie, then that woman, 27-year-old Linnea Strom of Sweden, played at Arizona State, 99th career start. After shooting a 60 in the third group out this morning, will have her first victory. We got the group in front of Kang and the group behind her that have largely struggled today. Canada's Elena Sharp has this for birdie at the 18th. Karen, still a lot to play for Elena. She hopes to make the Canadian Olympic golf team again.
Well, and that's, this is crucial for her to finish as high as she can. And it's a shame that she wasn't able to get it together a little bit better today. But it's an unusual kind of stress that seeing somebody post a really low number puts on a play. Even if it's not about trying to beat her, it's about knowing that low scores are out there and that the leaderboard's going to be changing rapidly.
Megan and Jack have a fun relationship. Jack's a little more stoic, Megan's a little more bubbly, but they've made a great team.
I think he's secretly bubbly inside. I think he enjoys being on the golf course with Megan, and I think Megan certainly enjoys being out there with him. They combine really well, and
he plays the straight man in that duo, but anyone would with Megan, I guess.
He gives her exactly what she needs.
There you go.
I mean, she needs somebody to talk to have a laugh with when they're playing, and he provides that.
John and Lee 6. She's going to have a top 10. It's been a real struggle for the U.S. Women's Open champ from 2019. She's gone back to her former coach and is seeing some signs of improvement. Made the cut at the U.S. Women's Open last week. was Rookie of the Year. Louise Huggs, Rolex Rookie of the Year, back when she won the U.S. Women's Open in 2019. Yoo-Jin Sung is a rookie this season from Korea. One over par 72. And again, 4 hours since she last struck a golf shot, Karen.
Yeah, getting final text messages in, seeing how the scores are going, seeing what's happening. Everybody's keeping her up to speed with what's going on the course right now.
And Megan Kang waiting in that penultimate grouping. And Na Ren An, I think, is going to be next to play, Jim.
Yeah, she is. It's 203. The wind's just picked back up. It was right to left, but now it's kind of hurting right to left. The only thing for her or any of these players, you just don't want to miss it right. And there's that fescue over to the right, but plenty of club to get there.
Quite a slow putt.
And Wei Ling Shi, I think, will be next, and the wait will grow for Megan Kang.
Yeah, they had about the same yardage. We're right at 188. See if she can finish off with a good note. It's going a little bit left.
Wind has been capricious today. Strong at times. How about now?
It's a lot less than it was, and if they're looking at the flag, it's not moving, so you kind of have to feel it. But you feel it back here in the fairway. It's kind of still up there as you look at it, and I think that's why we're seeing it. But actually now the wind's kind of picked up behind her, so it's starting to swirl a little bit, but it's the exact same yardage. That front number's looking at right about 170. The stage is set. This is why you practice. This is what you dream of right here. Also going a little left as well.
I think that once it gets up above the stands and the bushes on the right, the wind still can catch that ball quite quickly.
And she's great around the greens, but she'll need that greatness if she's going to force a playoff or perhaps even to win. Coming down to the 18th with Megan Kang. Megan Kang one back, third shot, par 5, 18th.
Going with a lot of loft. Oh my goodness.
My word.
Wow, I did not see that coming. Maybe that's why we go with a 9-iron or a wedge.
Karen, shocker.
It really is. I mean,
It's a day of shocks.
Yes, across the board, but it's like it all comes down to this for Megan, and she's come up big so often, but she knows that that was not the shot. It's very easy to second guess yourself. She was pretty committed to it though, but man, what a mistake, unfortunately, at this stage.
So Kang has to make this, or Linnea Strom makes history as the biggest comeback in LPGA history. close, but not enough. And the long shot cashes in. Linnea Strom, from the bottom of the leaderboard when the day began to the top, and her first LPGA title. A final round 60.
And she did it with her father here too. I mean, that's so special. When you're coming from overseas, to be able to do it with your family here means even more.
A player who got to the LPGA Tour very early in her career, had to go back to the Epson Tour. She led that money list a couple of years ago. Had a tremendous season last year, 44th in the race to the CME Globe. And now, with a Sunday shocker, 52nd place when the round began. No one had ever come from deeper than 20th place entering the final round to win. In her 99th LPGA start, she does the unthinkable. The historic second lowest round in LPGA history is enough for her first LPGA title, holding off proven winners like Ayaka Budaway and Megan Kang and Ataya Titakun. And this was the last gasp.
I mean, such a great effort with that second chip. It was just the first one that we were not expecting. She put up a, I mean, what a fantastic fight though, when you consider the target that was set by Strom.
Meanwhile, an eagle putt for Na-Rin An. This is big with a very bunched up leaderboard where she is. It'll take her to 10 under from a three-way tie to 7th into a two-way tie for 6th. It just looked all the world like we were headed to a playoff.
Absolutely. I mean, we'd seen Megan play some fantastic.
Yeah, a bit of the bubbly. How about this day for the Swedish Sun Devils? Lynn Grant comes from 11 shots back to win the DP World Tour's Scandinavian Mixed in their native Sweden. And today, the biggest comeback in terms of tournament positioning in LPGA history, Linnea Strom. Wailing Shi with a closing birdie. And she moves it to 10 under. This tournament, Karen, every year delivers the drama. So hard for a front runner to win it. And again, we've never seen anything like this today.
No, because as a front runner, you typically tee off quite late in the day. This golf course always plays more difficult in the afternoon, and the players know that before they've even teed off. And then when you go ahead and put a low number on the board like Strom did, setting the target, the players knew they had to reach that target, knowing that the conditions are going to be tough. It sometimes can seem like the mountain is too high to climb when you're set that kind of a target. It's you know, Megan, as I said, that was a valiant effort. She shoots 5 under par.
But a bogey from the fairway at 16.
Yeah.
Looked like she really went for that birdie chip from in front of the green.
I think she was looking to make them.
Yeah.
Both those chips.
At 17 as well. Came close, but not enough. And Linnea Strom got the happy news. News that I don't think she may still yet believe. She is an LPGA winner for the very first time. A Sunday 60 and a win. All right, while we have a moment, let's send it down to Jim Gallagher.
Thank you, Grant. Megan, thanks for spending some time with it. Gallant effort today, but take us through the 18th hole.
I mean, pretty much we went out there. I mean, Linnea, incredible 11 under. I mean, first off, hats off to her. I mean, that's just crazy out here, let alone last round conditions. But for me, you know, kind of knew I was going to have to chase and didn't realize it was going to be that early on in the round. But, you know, 18, told myself, give myself a good chance. Did a pretty good job. You know, it wasn't terrible being at the back of the green, but just kind of didn't execute my chip the way I wanted to. And, you know, funny enough, the birdie chip gave it a pretty good run itself. But, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, it's kind of hard to be upset to lose an 11 under day.
Absolutely. When you go back and you look at it and you see a 60 posted, you see 14 under, does that change your strategy? Because you're usually a pretty aggressive player.
Yeah, no, I mean, today it was kind of a slow start. I think for all of us, it was just kind of, you know, trying to get through the first 9 holes with the wind the way it was. Fortunately, I was able to walk away 2 under, making the turn. And, you know, you have 9 more holes left, and under the gun, I kind of got a little more aggressive and was able to hit some shots, make some putts. Unfortunately, not towards the end, but, you know, pretty proud of myself for the way I played today.
Well, as you should be. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Back over to you, Tom.
Well, thank you, Jim. I'm here with the champion, Linnea Strom. A remarkable day on the LPGA Tour. You've had 4+ hours. What has it been like waiting to find out?
I mean, I really did not expect this waking up today. It's just proof that you should never give up, and, you know, you just go out there and give it your all. And it was a long wait after my round. I had a longer lunch, and then I did some stretching, and then, you know, did some warm up again. So I'm obviously very happy right now. I worked very hard for this, so it's just surreal that it's finally happening.
You said you didn't know this was going to be possible when you woke up, but when did you start to think, I might win this?
I mean, even after 9 holes, I was like, I knew the leaders weren't even close to teeing off yet. So, I mean, I think I just tried to do as good as I could, and I honestly didn't think I was playing for winning. I mean, obviously you always want to win in the back of your head, but I just tried to put a good score out there today, and I'm very proud of how I handled myself all around today. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Were you watching leaderboards during that round?
I was a little bit, but I wasn't paying too much attention to it because, like I said, I mean, I knew the leaders hadn't teed off yet, so it's just in the back of my head. I wasn't even sure what the final winning score was gonna be, so it's just a tricky one when I tee off so early, and, you know, you have the whole field teeing off after you. So yeah, I'm just very happy with the day.
Your father is here. What is it like to share this win with him?
I mean, so much fun. It's just, I'm just thankful that he's here watching me, and then to be able to win with family, I think it's just something special. And I never won on the LPGA before, and I won on the Epson, both with my dad and with my mom. So it's just so fun that he's here and witnessed my first LPGA win. Is something special.
It's going to be a big celebration. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It will sink in at some point. Not sure it has yet. A great start. Again, 3rd group out this morning. 7 shots back when the day began. Great start. And kept it going at the 9th with the pitch in for eagle.
Well, sometimes when you do something like that, chipping in, it really kind of gets your mind thinking, like, maybe this could be a special day.
She would birdie 14, which gave her the lead for the first time. Par at 15, which is a good score there, and then at 16.
And really taking advantage of the slope to bring the ball back close to the hole.
And she would roll that in for birdie. Took her to 12 under par, then it's 17.
And we've seen this cut a lot today. Not many people made it. Linnea did.
And not many could get it as close as she did, even though it's only a 77-yard hole. At the 18th, she needed to make eagle for a 59. Her third shot from about 50 yards away came to that point, and then she buried that one for a 60. We talk about the lowest rounds in LPGA history. Only her fellow Swede, Annika Sorenstam, has ever gone lower than what Strom did today. The last time we had a 60, Jessica Korda, round 3 in Orlando, and just 5 others before today.
I mean, just a remarkable performance when you consider that she only just made the cut. But that was that light bulb moment. Everything kind of clicked in for her today, and she's a champion.
She had missed 5 of her previous 6 cuts coming in. Didn't qualify for the U.S. Women's Open, went back to Sweden to see family. And you just never know, Karen.
No.
Just never know.
Well, and she said she's worked hard. And, you know, ultimately you know that if you put in the effort, you put in the time, and you trust the process, that eventually good things have to happen. Going home to Sweden, being close to family, to where you grew up, is also very good for the soul as well. And no doubt that played a part in this.
Alban Valenzuela, that was for eagle. She'll have that putt to get back to even par for the day and 9 under for the tournament. Soak it in. Float away on those happy bubbles. Su Chia Cheng from Taiwan got into the U.S. Women's Open last week. Worked her way into the final group today. Best position she had ever been in. But, it's been a struggle today. She is 3 over. And you go from a tie for 3rd plummeting down to a tie for 39th.
There's a level of expectations that you put on yourself when you're in that final group. And you know that you have a really great opportunity to win. And it's hard if you've never been there before. You don't know how many opportunities you're going to get. So you want to really make the most of it. So you put all kinds of pressure on yourself to perform. And then that was just added to by the fact that a number was already posted that people had to get to. It's a really tough spot for this final group to play in.
Yeah, jarring, huh?
It really is.
You know you're gonna get the onslaught from the chasers, but
yeah,
maybe not quite like that. We've never seen it. Talking 75 years of LPGA golf. 20th place is the deepest from which any winner had come entering the final round. Got a player who had to birdie the 18th after a couple of late stumbles yesterday just to make the cut. Jenny Shin. Good one to end on. Closing birdie. And a tie for 9th. Never been a player that we can find who made the cut on the number and went on to win, much less with only 1 round to do it. But Linnea Strom has made some history today. Karen, we said it yesterday, didn't we?
Yep.
Anyone who makes the cut has a chance to win this tournament. We just didn't know that it was going to be a 60 today from Linnea Strom.
Well,
she didn't either.
No, I mean, it took a 60 from her to do it. There was a number of players that had an opportunity to try and trace her down, but she just posted a number that was just too big for anybody else to catch. Tremendous performance by Linnea, and all credit to her for the hard work that she's put in, and congratulations to her and her family for a great victory.
A study in perseverance.
Yep.
Bounced back from the Epson Tour a couple of years ago, and now at the very top. A 60 to win by 1 over those proven winners right behind her. A reminder that we've got more LPGA coverage coming your way later this week. The Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give, from the Grand Rapids area. First round coverage begins Thursday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Golf Channel and Peacock. Thanks to our entire team, led by producer Glenn Zavatsky, director Jeff Jastro, for Karen Stupples, Tom Abbott, Jim Gallagher Jr., and all of us. I'm Grant Boone. The last shall be first. From the bottom of the leaderboard to the very top, congratulations, Linnea Strom. You are an LPGA